There is a place in the most beautiful part of Europe where you can live for less than $1,200 per month. I'm talking about Sicily in Italy, but wait, Sicily is quite a big island. But we found a region that has a unique combination of the most sought features for expats. It has a tremendously low cost of living, incredibly gorgeous beaches, amazing food, among the most nutritious in the world, and the best part, an ample offer of real estate for sale for unimaginably low prices. In this place, you can live in a mansion that belonged to a noble European family for less than the price of a car. So get ready to discover the splendid hidden gem of Italy. I'm talking about the province of Agrigento. So let's start with a 45-second explanation of what is the province of Agrigento. This province is located on the southern coast of Sicily and has a population of around 450,000 people. The provincial capital is a city also named Agrigento and has close to 60,000 residents. The province is situated on a plateau overlooking the sea, and it's known for its dramatic cliffs, rolling hills, and a coastline that stretches for about 150 kilometers. While Agrigento does not have big cities, it's not far from major urban centers. It's only about 130 kilometers from the capital of Sicily, Palermo, which is a large city. It's just a 2-hour drive. The other major Sicilian city, Catania, is about 170 kilometers away or 2.5-hour drive. Some people think that Sicily is dry and lacks water bodies, but in Agrigento, the Platani River runs through the province, adding to its lush landscapes. Mount Etna, Europe's highest and most active volcano, is not far away. Overall, Agrigento offers a blend of natural beauty and urban conveniences, but this place has even more impressive positive aspects. So now let's talk about the pros of living in this part of Sicily, in Italy. The first one is the most impressive one too, the affordable cost of living. Groceries in this part of Italy are among the cheapest, if not the cheapest, in entire Europe. 1 kilo of tomatoes, for example, costs less than €2, or around $2.01. In Chicago, you pay the double of this price, and they don't taste nearly as good. The same is true for things like eggs, bread, apples, chicken, and so on. The only thing relatively expensive in that part of Italy is milk, which will cost the same or a bit more than in the US. Surprisingly, however, cheese is quite affordable. And that is something difficult for me to understand. Why milk is expensive, but cheese is cheap? Probably there's something to do with the shorter shelf life of fresh milk. But if you have a guess, please tell me in the comment section. Other thing, dining out is tremendously cheap too. This is one of the best restaurants in the entire province, the kind of place you take someone on a first date. Still, the most expensive plate there is only €13. This is the same as $14. $14 is less than what you would pay to order a Burger King Whopper meal via Uber Eats in the US. And if the low cost of groceries and low cost of dining out didn't impress you enough, then the extremely low cost of housing will. But about housing, I will talk in a few minutes, because now it's the time for the next pro of Agrigento, the Mediterranean weather. The province has a Mediterranean climate, with warm, dry summers and mild, rainy winters. Average temperatures range from 12 degrees Celsius (54 Fahrenheit) in winter to 27 degrees Celsius (81 Fahrenheit) in summer. Researchers point to the Mediterranean weather as the most ideal for human life. If you suffer from health conditions like asthma, arthritis, or SAD, this weather will benefit you considerably. And since we are talking about health, here is another positive thing about Agrigento. Agrigento does not have large cities but has decent private medical facilities for most problems you may face. In the case you need more complex treatments, Palermo, only 130 kilometers away, has multiple good private clinics and hospitals that offer a multitude of advanced medical procedures. Palermo counts with institutions like the ISMET, which means Istituto Mediterraneo per i Trapianti Terapia ad Alta Specializzazione. It's one of the most advanced hospitals for transplants and specialized medical therapies in the entire country. There are also other good medical facilities and institutions like the Clinica Candela and the Hospital Bucher La Feria. The best thing, however, is that the price for medical procedures in these hospitals will be a tiny fraction of what you would pay in the US. That is why private health insurance in Italy is so much cheaper than in the US. And the next pro is something that you not expect in a Mediterranean island, since many of them, like Mallorca or Malta, are crowded with tourists. But not Sicily, or at least the region of Agrigento, which is marked by relative tranquility and low tourist density. One reason for this tranquility is the town's geographical positioning and infrastructure. While well connected, the province of Agrigento does not have an international airport like Palermo or Catania. Most visitors are day trippers, focused on the Valley of the Temples, leaving the town itself quieter and more relaxed. Moreover, Agrigento's extensive beaches and coastal towns like Sciacca are not full of huge all-inclusive resorts that attract hordes of raving tourists. The tourism industry in this region is more focused on smaller hotels, many of them family-operated. Additionally, Agrigento's local lifestyle emphasizes a slow pace and strong community ties. Residents enjoy a laid-back Mediterranean way of life, far removed from the hustle and bustle of major tourist areas. The next positive point might sound counterintuitive, since I just said that Agrigento does not have international airports. However, it's not far from them either, so Agrigento is close to a couple of international airports. The Palermo airport is 2 hours away and attends up to 100 destinations in countries like the US, Canada, and multiple European countries. Then there is also the Fontana Rossa Catania airport, 2 hours and 20 minutes away, flying to numerous European and intercontinental destinations. These airports are served by very inexpensive airlines like Wizz Air and Ryanair. So in the unlikely event you get bored in Sicily, you can just take a flight for 20 euros to spend a few days somewhere else in Europe. And now it's time for the biggest pro of all, the unbelievably cheap housing prices and absurdly low cost of living, in two very specific towns of the Agrigento province. One is called Sciacca and the other is Cianciana. Both cities could not be more different. Sciacca, with a population of around 40,000, is a lively coastal town. Its vibrant atmosphere comes from the busy fishing port, bustling markets, and a plethora of seafood restaurants. There are some stunning beaches very close there too, like the Spiaggia di San Marco and the Spiaggia di Sovaretto. Sciacca residents are known for their warm hospitality and strong tradition. The town is steeped in history with churches, ancient ruins, and thermal baths that date back to Roman times. The city receives some tourists during the high season, but it's never really crowded like more famous beach cities in Sicily. Cianciana, on the other hand, is a much smaller town with a population of about 3,500 residents. It's a place where everyone knows each other, and the sense of community is very strong. The town is surrounded by picturesque hills and olive groves, giving it a serene and rural feel. The pace of life in Cianciana is slow and relaxed, perfect for those looking to escape the noise and rush of larger cities. The town's charm lies in its simplicity and the friendliness of its residents. Local festivals and events are intimate affairs, bringing the whole community together to celebrate. But here is an important point. In Sicily, not many people speak English. If you plan to move to anywhere in the island, but especially to small towns, get ready to learn some Italian language. And even better, the Sicilian dialect. It's not that difficult, and once you start to speak it, your life will be so much better. The difference in your daily interactions with the locals is mind-blowing. In the comment section, I will give you the link for a very effective software that I use to learn language. Now continuing, and you might be asking, why am I talking to you about those two cities, two small towns, instead of the provincial capital, Agrigento? Here is the reason. As a provincial capital, Agrigento has more jobs, some of them relatively well paid in government institutions. Therefore, the prices are not as low as in smaller towns. Professionals and entire families left smaller Sicilian towns to find work in other cities in Italy like Milan or Turin. Therefore, a lot of empty properties are available. I'm not talking about the cramped, shabby homes that you would need to spend thousands reforming it to be able to live inside. No. I'm talking about ready-to-live homes with good standards. Some of them look straight from a romantic movie. We researched some apartments and houses in these two towns, and it's a shock how inexpensive they are. But before I show you the prices, I would like to ask a small favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. So let's imagine your budget to buy a property is 65,000 euros or less. less than the price of many modern cars. With that budget, you would easily buy a 110 square meter apartment in the suburb of Cianciana. This is an apartment with 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room, a bathroom, and a utility room. People say that Sicily is dirty and full of garbage in the streets, and that might be true in some parts of Palermo or Catania, but not in this part of Cianciana. This is how it looks the streets in this area, clean and tidy, and this for only 59,000 euros or $64,000. Do you know what you buy in Philadelphia in the US for $64,000? This place. Probably it's haunted too. Not far from this apartment in Cianciana, you can buy for almost the same price an even bigger one. This one has 135 square meters and a panoramic view of the valley nearby. Imagine you wake up in the morning and have that view while drinking an espresso. That is why people live until 90 years old there. But let's say that instead of living in the countryside, you would rather live close to the beach. Let's talk about what you could afford in Sciacca, our lovely coastal town. For 99,000 euros, you can buy a 2-floor building in the historical center of the town. It's located at Via San Vito, a Sciacca, about 200 meters from the fantastic Piazza Scandagliato. Again, if you think that Sicily is dirty and has garbage in the streets, think twice, because this is how the street of this apartment looks like. As clean as the corridor of a fancy hotel. The best part? You will be within a walking distance of this beach. And yes, it's empty because, as I said, somehow, not many tourists discovered yet how cute is this little town called Sciacca. Remember in the beginning when I said that in Sicily, you could live in the house that belonged for a noble family for the price of a car in the US? I was talking seriously, and to prove that, let's go back to Cianciana, where this house is for sale for 110,000 euros. This is actually not a house but a mansion with 9 bedrooms, multiple halls and verandas. In total, it has 765 square meters. This is more than 8,000 square feet. Honestly, if I had a house of that size, I have no idea what I would do. Maybe I would just admire those frescoes, stuccos, and tiles from the 18th and 19th centuries that this noble house has. And this historic mansion costs only 110,000 euros, or less than $120,000. This is what you would pay for a Range Rover or a BMW 8 Series in the US. Not a difficult choice, right? Range Rover or large noble mansion in Italy? I take the second. But what if you have some considerable savings and want to spend more and live the best years of your life in a place that is your own little world? I found this villa that comes with its own vineyard, orange, lemon and apricot trees, and access via private road, in a plot of almost 2,000 square meters. This is 21.5 thousand square feet, overlooking the river Mavaro. You also have your own swimming pool and a large barbecue area. This costs only 248,000 euros, or $270,000. A 50-year mortgage on such a house would cost you only 1,880 euros per month. This is around $2,050 per month, which is less than the average rent of a 2-bedroom apartment in Philadelphia. For a mansion with a swimming pool, vineyard, and fruit orchards in Sicily. The place with the best weather on earth. If you're interested in any of these properties that I showed you today, just call the people from the real estate agents My House Cianciana. They speak very good English and they are very helpful. You can see their phone number and email on the screen. Now, before finishing, one last piece of advice. There are many places that advertise the program of houses for €1 in Italy, but there are a few small words in the contracts of the €1 house program that might be a threat. I'm thinking about doing a video on this issue, but first I want your opinion. Do you want to know more about the issues with the €1 house program? Please tell me in the comment section. And check this other video here about the other regions in Italy. Have you ever heard about Calabria? You will be surprised. To discover more, just click on the video here on your left.